check this out.
Hey everybody, welcome back to JDM World. In this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. You've seen me build a number of subwoofers, and those are great, but you can't live on just subwoofers alone, can you? Well, okay, maybe you can. But today, we're going to build some surrounds. So I've got the Volt 10 kit from DIY Sound Group, and those guys make everything. They make subs and left, right, center. They make the 1099s, which are really, really cool. Maybe one day I'll build a pair of those, but today, we've got Volt 10s, and Volt 10s are surrounds. They're about this big. They've got a 10-inch driver with a compression tweeter that screws into the middle of that driver and fires through the center and out the front. So they're kind of concentric drivers there. So we're gonna put those together, and you'll be able to see how I build these and put some finish on it and get them ready to go up on the walls. To get started building the kit, you need a few tools. And by few, I mean really just a handful. Most importantly, you're gonna need some wood glue. And I use Titebond 3. It takes a little bit longer for this to set up, so it's easier for me to deal with the build. Beyond that, it's nice if you have a brush that you can use to spread the glue out. You can use your finger, or you can use a paper towel, whatever. But this brush is pretty nice, and this is the cool Titebond brush that cost a lot of money. There are lots of other options that are less expensive. Beyond that, clamps. If you don't have any clamps, this is a great excuse to go buy a million clamps. Get 1-foot clamps, 2-foot clamps, 3-foot clamps, 4-foot clamps, get band clamps, and I'm gonna do a video about band clamps because they're cool. But for this build, I think that I'm likely to use up to 8 clamps at any one given time, and I'm using 24-inch and 36-inch clamps for this effort. I think I could get away with just 24-inch clamps if I had enough of them, but I've got a mixed set. So this is what you need to get started, and we're gonna get started right now.
You better turn up. You better be there when I shake. Watch me rockin' if I can't stop.
To paint the box, I use Duratex. This stuff is bulletproof and it goes on really easy. I rolled this on, so this is roller grade Duratex, and I used a flat foam roller to get that on. There are textured rollers that you can use, but this method of rolling it on makes the texture a little bit lower.
You better grab that tambourine. Bring the bass, we might be wicked. We may be forced to cause a scene. Make some trouble, baby. Ooh, I live it. That's my true love, true to love. Ooh, I love it. Crank it up, yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it up on a higher level.
Let's talk a little bit about binding posts. This is a part that often is skipped over in videos, and before I did this, I really didn't know what I was doing, right? Basically, when you buy a binding post, the tap-in style, and you'll see what I mean in just a minute, all you need to do is drill a couple of holes that meet the correct diameter, and for the Daytons that I used, that was 1/4 inch. And the binding post itself is a little bit wider than 1/4 inch, so you need to use a hammer to get it in. But what you'll do is drill those 2 holes, take all the screws and other pieces off, and drop the binding posts in as far as they go, and then pound them in with hammers. Then all of the bolts will be used on the other side to hold your wiring in place. With the box finished, we're now into the final stretch. So we need to cable up this crossover. There are going to be 3 cables going into or out of the crossover, however you want to think about it. So first, we need to connect those binding posts to the crossover. So I use those hoops, and I'm going to bolt those to the back of the binding post. Then the cables from the binding post will run to the inputs on the crossover. Now you can see that we have to add the little standoffs to the bottom of that crossover. That will allow us to bolt it onto one of the internal sides of the box using the 4 included screws. Once you have that crossover ready, then there are 2 pieces of cabling left to deal with. So we need the cable that's going to connect our tweeter and the cable that's going to connect the woofer. So basically these will screw in to the crossover itself, and then we're going to add some quick disconnects onto the other end with a little bit of heat shrink to make it look nice, and then those will push directly onto the speakers themselves. From a materials point of view, I use speaker cable from Amazon Basics. It's just a standard 16 gauge bulk cable. The binding posts are from Dayton Audio, and I picked those up from Parts Express. I'll have a link to that in the bottom. And the quick disconnects I picked up from Amazon. I'll have a link to those as well.
You better grab that tambourine. Bring the bass, we might be wicked. We may be forced to cause a scene. Make some trouble, baby. Ooh, I live it. That's my true love, true to love. Ooh, I love it. Crank it up, yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn
And that's all it takes to put together a set of Volt 10s. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, and if you haven't, please just hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and drop a comment down below about what you would like to see built next. I've had a lot of people request things around the 10-inch subwoofer size, so maybe I'll do a 10-inch sealed kit next for everyone, but let me know what is on your mind and what you would like to see. But don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everybody. May the sound be with you.